a different time. And there was a website that had just come out, and it was called plentyoffish.com. And it was at the very beginning of online dating. So, I'd never seen anything like that before. It was something new, a little profile, whatever. And I met a couple of people over a couple of weeks, went on a couple of dates. And then one night, it was actually April Fool's, because I remember thinking it was a joke because she had sent me a message and wanted to talk or whatever. So I messaged her back. We ended up on the phone that night, and we talked for like, I know we stayed on the phone the entire night into the next day. It was probably 12, 13 hours of being on the phone that first night. It just seemed like we had an
Interesting.
endless amount of things to talk about. So we agreed to go, on a date, and I didn't really know what to do. I didn't have a whole lot of money. I was working at the casino at the time in the kitchen, cooking breakfast, working overnight shifts. So I wasn't making very much
Mm.
money. But I tried to make the best out of it, and had her meet me at a daiquiri shop right by the house, and we
Aw.
had a couple of drinks, and then I figured, we go downtown to Levee because that's a nice place to go for a walk, and they got the benches and all of that. So
Are you from New Orleans?
Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, I lived in New Orleans. I did not know that you were from Baton Rouge. Wow, because you said
Yeah,
Levee and the daiquiri shops. They used to have daiquiri huts that you could drive through.
yeah. I
I'm
guess
sorry to interrupt, but
there's
I
not a
know
whole lot of
exactly what you're
daiquiri
talking
shops.
about. Yeah, please continue. Continue.
Um, so it was a perfect night. It was a perfect night, and like I said, it was real intense, real fast. Because even immediately after that, the second night we was together, and the third and the fourth, and we didn't skip. I mean, it was every single day we saw each other after that for a couple of
Mm.
weeks, and then she was staying with her brother at the time, and she had two kids. And I should all of these red flags in the beginning. You go back and think about it, but she had been
So those
married
red, but
previously
those red
3 times.
flags, sorry, with those red flags, why did you ignore them?
Why do any of us ignore
No,
those?
I'm asking because I ignored them too. So I'm
Yeah.
just asking, was there something like, I'm looking at it more of an intuition, like, was your gut saying no and your heart was like leading you down a path, or was it just her charm? Like, was she love bombing you? What was
I,
it that
I
was?
think at this point in my life, so I guess I should go back just a little bit further too. In 2011, um, I was hospitalized for an infection that spread to my heart, and I was in a
Oh.
coma, flatlined, had an out of body experience. That's another story, and
Wow. Wow.
I was in the
Wow.
hospital for about 4 months. So when I got out the hospital in December of 2011, so it was just a couple of months after this that I met her. Before this, I was in the streets, running and gunning, and in and out of jail, and severe drug addict, and fighting that battle. So by the time I met her, I was late 20s. I was like, all right, I'm done with this life. I just want to be a family man. So I guess I'd never been around kids before, didn't have none of my own, nothing like that. So I don't know. I guess it just gave me that. It filled that void of I needed at that moment because I knew that I had to get away from the life that I was in, and that meant cutting off everything and everybody and starting a whole new life. So I
Yeah.
guess I let them red flags go, thinking it's not a big deal. And she was married 3 times before me. I was the fourth. Uh,
Wow.
Oh.
should have known right then and there. no,
Well,
no
you're
relationships
Well,
with
you were
any of those.
vulnerable. The thing
yeah.
is, you were vulnerable. You had just come off of being incredibly ill. You just come off of dealing with substance abuse, and you wanted to have a better life. And this
Right.
person
That was
came
my
along, found
chances at a
you.
better life at that time, at least.
Yes.
So it was mostly filling avoidance and feeling validated as a man, because also have a legacy. Those are the
Right.
three things I'm hearing from you. And if I'm wrong, just let me know.
No, that's
And
about it.
so in those
Mhm.
three things, I can completely understand where you're coming from. And I know that's pretty hard for most people to understand, but that's what happens in those situations where,
I think another big part of it too is her son, who was only 4 or 5 at the time. His father was in prison and had no part in his life. So I immediately became that father figure for him.
Oh,
And we
Oh,
still have a
okay.
relationship to this day. So, and that was a big part of that, as a man, for the first time, like I got a son, I felt like I needed to do things differently and go get a job and, be that role model,
so you were an instant father, more or less,
basically.
and you felt
Yeah,
good about that because now you
I
felt,
loved it.
yeah, I
Uh,
yeah. I mean, did
you
you have,
stepped up. You stepped up where
yeah.
you saw a need.
So
Absolutely.
you were just working yourself through that, and then when did really the first abuse started to happen? Was it
So
2 months in, 3 months in?
within the first month, she had two kids. The older that was 5, and then she had just had a baby that was a year before.
Mhm.
So then the first couple of weeks we were together, she had reached out to others' parents and basically let them come and take the baby at that time because she knew it just wasn't the right. It wasn't a good time. We were both trying to
Yeah.
figure stuff out, and so it was the smarter decision to make at that time. So it was just the three of us. Well, after about 3 months of the three of us, she decided to send her son to go stay with her sister for a few months so that we can go get a new place and catch back up. And then in a few months or whatever, then we can go from there. So I guess it was really once we got that new place and it was just me and her for the first time without any kids in the environment. So it
Right.
Mm,
instantly became, we cut off from the world. It was just us together in the house. And then, a little bit of drugs got back into play, but I fought it the entire
mm.
time because I didn't want it anymore. But, she still wanted to dabble with some stuff. So that was always a fight. And that was probably one of the beginning
So
fights as well.
when did you start realizing that I need to get out of here? I mean, obviously the
A
stab
long,
was the one, but which
a
when
long
was,
time, a long time past that. So we were married for
yeah,
12, almost 12 years.
wow. And
Wow.
when did that stab, let's just, I'm trying to create timelines here. So that stab happened when
Uh,
10 years in?
the stab, yeah, no, you're about 10 years in.
So then
So
it took you 2 more years to realize I need to get out of here. Or was that before
10
that?
more.
Did you have, what's that?
Uh, about 10 more. So even through
Wow.
all of that, so say we in the first year, everything I owned had already been smashed. She get mad and cut my clothes up. I broke my nose, God, I don't know how many times. And even at that point, it wasn't even a question. It
Mm,
wasn't even a thought. It was just, how am I going to fix this? So, and over time, as things came out, I learned that she had a lot of mental illness diagnoses,
Mm.
and it was diagnosed schizophrenic, borderline, bipolar, depression. I mean, it was a whole list of them. So that's it would be these flashes. It'd be 3 to 6 months of this amazing time, and she's the perfect wife, and it's the perfect house, and everything is great. And then she would fall off on these tangents, whether she'd start overtaking her medication or whatever it would be, and it's like it would trigger that mental illness at the same time. So it would delusion started coming out, and you know, people there that's not and thinking I'm talking to other women that didn't exist. And that's
So
when
what?
things really started to, get really, really intense.
So sorry to interrupt. uh, During this whole time where you've discovered that she has mental health issues and she is on medication, is she also using and drinking at the time too, which is a terrible combination? Did
It
she
would
start
be
using
periodically.
other
So
drugs?
she
Okay.
had a lot of like body dysmorphia. It's beautiful, but she always thought that she was fat and whatever. So she took a lot of speed and a lot of Adderall that she was prescribed to, but she take 10, 12 of them and then not sleep 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and then your 4 or 5 days of been up and just out of your mind. That's
Oh my
when things
goodness.
started to show up and shadows on the walls, and thinking I had another girlfriend that was living in the attic, and we were communicating with her with the light switches, if just all kind of stuff. So I had her
So
hospitalized several
paranoia
times.
and okay, go ahead, please. You had her hospitalized.
Several times. So I kept trying to fix it, but
Hmm.
the way the system is set up is there's not a whole lot for mental health. So there's really nowhere to take her that has that instant without prison, other than like drug rehabs and things of that
Like,
nature.
were
So
you
you put
were
them
you
in
kind of
there
like?
out of desperate.
Sorry, I just wanted to know. Okay, you just brought up a really good point. Um, so now has the authorities or child services or anything like that involved at this time, or are they just kind of just sitting there, kind of like waiting for you to make an action?
I mean, I guess I left a big, massive gap in between. But 2014 is
That's okay.
when my daughter was born. We had my daughter, and yeah. So they did, after probably when she was about 2. I think was the first time DCFS got involved, and it
Okay.
was. I'll tell you that little quick story. We were at Best Buy, and I was going in to get a TV. I just got the tax return. We hadn't had a TV in it, and I'm gonna go get a TV. But the baby was sleeping in the back, so I was like, just hang out here for a minute. I'm gonna run in and get this TV. I'll be right back. Well, I'm in the back getting it because I was financing it or whatever. The dude that talked me into the big one, signed a bunch of
Oh,
papers. And
of
next thing I
course.
know, I see my wife on the other side of the store, like looking through this bin. I'm like, what the hell? So I told the guy, wait a minute, let me go see what's going on. And I go to her, and she's by herself. I'm like, "Where's the baby? What are you doing?" Oh, I moved the car right there by the door, and the car's running. I said, "Are you kidding me? Get out of here!" Used a lot more, plenty of profanity, and go back in the car. Well, she did that
Understandable.
for a minute, and then she wound up getting out again and leaving her. Well, by this time, the Best Buy had called the police because I guess they seen her getting in and out of the car. So I didn't finish in the back with the TV, and I'm ready to leave. Like, let's get out of here. And I see the 2 cops walk in and grab her, and they're looking around, so I know they're looking for me. All right, come on. So I walk out to the door. They already knew, and instantly, the guy that slams me against the wall, a brick wall,
Oh,
hangs behind your back, cuffs me up because I'm a convicted felon and I've been to prison. So it don't matter. Uh, I'm I'm getting cuffed no matter what. I could call the police myself because my house got broken into, and I promise you, I'm gonna be in handcuffs until they figure everything out.
I don't mean to
So
laugh, but that
I'm
is just a
slammed
sad
against the
story.
wall. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It is what it is. Um, so he starts yelling at me and yelling at her about the baby being in the car, and I'm trying to explain to the dude like my wife's not well. She was supposed to be in the car with her. I don't know what the hell happened. I was in the back, and he's like, "Well, can I search the car?" Yeah, absolutely, because I did not have anything in the car. I didn't think twice. Yeah, sure, knock yourself out, man. So he starts searching the car, and he grabs her purse, which is closed up, and it was tied up, had a big wrap around it. So he looked at that, and he was, "I'm gonna open this up," opens it up, digs in, and in the bottom pulls out a big giant bottle of pills that was all mixed up, and it was Xanax and Adderall and antibiotics, just 10, 12 different kind of pills. He shakes it. He's like, "What the hell is this?" Lovely. So
mm,
right there, I, I just didn't even hesitate. I said, "That's mine." And
um,
they took her out of handcuffs and put me in the back of the car. And I'm sitting there, and I can see them talking. And it was about 10 minutes past. And I'm like sitting there thinking, like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is he still talking to her? He comes around, opens the door, tells me, "Get out." I get out, and he takes the cuffs off of me. He said, "You're free to go." While his partner was cuffing her up. So I guess after I said it was mine, and they put me in the car, she went back and said, "No, it
Mark,
ain't his.
Mark,
It's my
Mark, I
hold on.
don't
car."
mean to.
Hold on
Mark, I
just one
don't.
second.
I think your mic is not Sorry, your mic is frazzled. I'm sorry.
I think it's might be the signal. We're getting
Mic-
a lot of interference
Okay.
with you, Mark. So can you test your mic again? Oh, that's probably why.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. It might be your signal. Oops.
yeah.
And John, oh, we're having so much fun today dealing with this. Can you the background music is still on from the intro?
I
Can you
think
hear that?
he's
I
added back on. Just give him 1 second.
okay.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, his mic got really bad there for a second. So,
Yeah, and I was wondering if it was his
but while
weak signal
but
from
while we're
Baton
waiting
Rouge.
for Mark, yeah, but while we're waiting for Mark, I kind of want to talk about um, the things that what happens in a relationship when they start going down that path. Early
Yep.
start.
Yep.
The early start, really, that's when um, it's I don't know if it's called a love bomb, but like for me, my example was I felt charmed, I felt wanted, I felt appreciated, I felt all these things,
Valued.
values. And if you
Yeah.
really want to get a man to really like you, you start using those things or like
Appreciated.
appreciation,
Yeah.
all those things. And as soon as you get there, and then all of a sudden the guy feels there's a potential, whatever that looks like. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this person, I'm really in love with this person. And I'm sure that happens on the female side in some ways.
Yes, definitely. I
But
can
the
attest
male
to
side,
that.
it's pure manipulation. And because you're just trying to win him over as fast as possible and then tie him up. And that's what happened to me. And then when I got tied up,
Interesting.
then the true person showed up, because you could only carry that facade for such a long period of time. That's why it's very important to walk very, very slowly into a relationship and
Yep.
evaluate everything and kind of go, And I've been doing that for a while now, where I just don't jump in. Well, luckily I don't have to do that now. I'm very grateful. But in the
Yeah.
past, I remember when in the dating world, I would date women. It took me a little bit of time to get involved. And all of a sudden, I'll give you one example. This person came in. I cook, right? So I cook. I was cooking meatballs and all this. I was just having
Of
fun.
course you do.
And
You're
and then
Italian.
and then we're just having fun. Just made it a fun night. And she just comes in and just complete attitude. And as
Uh-huh.
soon as
Am I
she
back?
said, "Yeah, you're
You're
back."
back.
Right.
He's
There we
just
go.
I
finishing
just
up a story real quick, Mark.
Go
But
ahead.
the thing
Sorry.
was, as soon as she kind of made a proposition with me,
Uh-huh.
and when you've healed and you understand your worth and you understand you're grounded and you got boundaries, someone trying to manipulate that again is not going to happen.
And
And
if
it
it
didn't.
does happen, it's so short
It's so
that you
exactly.
figure it out so quickly.
So I just said to
Yeah.
her, I said, "You have a choice. We could either work this out now, or you can walk out the door." And she chose to walk out the door. Now, I will tell you this: she called me back a couple times later, and she said, "Can I get back involved?" And I said, and and I guess I was just being bored. I said, "Yeah, sure. Let's just see how this goes." So we ended up.
Bored.
I don't know how you call it, but I was very curious because I was learning about this, and I don't mean this to be rude, but I was just learning how this dating would go and why people would call back. And I knew
How it
right
would
away,
play out. How it
yeah,
would
how it
play
play out.
out.
How
Hmm.
then, but she did say something very interesting. I was very shocked you never called me. And I said, "Well, why would I call you? You said
Right.
bye, it was over, and I was done." And she goes, "No one has never done that to me." And so again, it goes back to the red flags. Those type of people have that tendency of I wouldn't say everyone, but I say a certain percentage who want to latch on, have detachment issues, they have scarcity, whatever their issues is. I don't know what they are, but all of a sudden they scramble to find a guy just to fill a void of theirs, and you're just trying to fill a void because you want a legacy, you want validation, you want a family, and this person's willing to give this to you, and you're like, oh my god, that feels really good. So I can understand the first stage of where men get themselves trapped. Now, I gotta say this also. There's been a lot of relationships that only had like maybe a 10 date, 9 date, whatever, 2 days, whatever it is. All of a sudden they get married, and they've been married for 50, 60 years. So it does happen where it's the
And
positive.
arranged marriages in certain cultures and whatnot. But
Right.
especially when I felt, especially when I was younger, in my 20s, in my early 30s, that, oh, what was it? What was I going to, I lost it. Hello. It's so chemical because for women, that is your prime breeding window. It's chemical, and it's lust, and it's attraction, and it
It's
doesn't happen with
excitement,
it doesn't happen with everyone. I mean, there's a whole
chemistry.
study about pheromones, how
Yeah.
one person can have certain pheromones and you're completely, you know you are not interested in them at all, and then another person can have totally different pheromones that mix with your pheromones, and that's where this attraction starts, this instant bonding. And then you put on top of that someone who you don't know yet has mental health issues, is love bombing you. They have, borderline personality disorders. And then, but let's get back to Mark, because
Yeah.
I'm finding it really interesting. So Mark, you said that you took a responsibility for those pills. They let her go. You were still cuffed, but it worked out that they let you go. How did that happen?
So she took the responsibility after I was in the car, and let me out and put her in. And, they left immediately. Took her to jail. And, it's those kind of moments too, because it's the
I'm sorry, Mark. We're still having technical difficulty on your end.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. The mic is not working.
I think it's just
Um,
either the restream, or it could be his. Sometimes I get a weak signal from my Wi-Fi,
is
so I
that
don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry, guys.
I don't think
Maybe if we'll try one more time, and maybe you can turn off your computer or your phone or wherever you're speaking from, and reboot it, and then come back.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's and
That's a
I
shame.
get it. I get it too, or when you're much younger, and you, especially in Mark's situation, and I'm not going to speak for him. I can only speak to what I heard, and the
Right.
fact he'd had his earlier life was compromised with being in jail, with drug use and drug abuse, and then he decided to turn his life around, find someone who would be a partner for him. And then so he got on, was it Plenty of, I think I remember this, Plenty of Fish. I never went on. When I became single, um, I went on there for a nanosecond and realized it wasn't for me. So it wasn't my thing. But, and he finds this person, and they get involved. And I was talking with someone recently, about, I think there's a Japanese it so you take a bowl, and the bowl has cracks in it, and then it's filled up with gold, and that gold is called kensuke, and that's how we can put ourselves back together,
Yeah.
is to mend our bowl. I'm sure somebody who is listening may know the name of it, but anyway, so he was a broken bowl who wanted to he wanted to put his bowl back together and mend it better with the gold, and he tried. And mental borderline personalities, we have my grandmother from my mother's side was schizophrenic, and you can hold on to the facade for a certain period of time, whether it's a few months, a few years, and then eventually you're going to crack. You're going to reveal to the other person who you truly are, whether it's from a situation that happens, some sort of problem or issue. He's outside now. Ooh.
Heading
Does
outside.
that
We're
work?
outside.
Well,
Does that
that's
sound
much
better?
better, Mark. I appreciate it. If this doesn't work, we'll reschedule this and bring you back on. And I'm
For
completely sorry.
sure.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if you've seen the news this morning. That all of a bunch of websites went down, including AT&T. So it killed
Yeah.
my Wi-Fi today. I'm running off this.
Well,
No.
we're streaming off of Restream, and it actually, I didn't know if that we had a, I didn't know if this would work today. I thought our backup would go back to Substack and do it live from there, but thankfully it's up and running again. So yeah,
He's
it's
back.
Well, I
there
got a
is a
couple more
bunch of
bars,
touches.
so hopefully it'll
Yes,
stay.
please continue. We were just
Okay.
vamping until ready. We were just,
Yeah.
So
So okay. I kind of want to. I want to get back into your story now. Now you're kind of like I want to walk past that initial thing, but I really want to get to more of your soul work and what did that take
yes.
you to recover? Because a lot of men's journey doesn't end at the first marriage per se. It usually there's a couple more after that. But what started to like? Did you start looking for peace? Or what was the really the initial thing you wanted after your marriage went south?
yeah, every action, everything that I've done has been because of my daughter. So
Oh,
at the point of when the night I got stabbed, my daughter was there. She was
Oh wow.
maybe
Yeah.
4 at the time, something like that. And then it was a year later when she tried to kill me again on Christmas morning. Uh,
Jesus.
yeah,
First time was a success. Let's try this again.
I tried it
Why?
again. That's another story as well. But this time she didn't actually stab me, but she was chasing me around the room with the knife. And my
Wow.
daughter was 5 at this time, and
oh,
she was underneath the bed because it was Christmas morning. So she was hiding under the bed waiting on Christmas, and woke up to us fighting, and Mama chased me around with a big old butcher knife. So she runs from underneath the bed and jumps in my arms, trying to, like try to shield me from mom.
oh,
So
oh.
that was kind of the moment for me where uh, that was it. I knew, that I had been trying and trying and trying for so many years until that point, and letting so many things go, but that was the last straw for me. And
So then
she
when did
wound up getting
so
arrested that day.
so that happened. So like when did you start doing the recovery? Like
Well,
did you
that
have to
was the
go to
last
therapy?
time I seen her. So when they took her away that
Oh,
Christmas morning, uh,
oh. So it was a very
in the back
automatic.
of the cop car, holding my
Yeah.
daughter, standing in the middle of the street, that was the last time we both
And so
seen
you
her.
get restraining orders and all that in
Yeah,
place. Okay,
yeah,
so she can't see you, she can't see your daughter.
yeah. I haven't
Um,
seen or heard from her. Apparently, she went across the country on a bus and whatever. But it was, I left because of my daughter. Is once I realized it was no longer just me in harm. When it was just me, it didn't matter because no matter
Mm,
how
wow.
crazy she got, I didn't really think that it would ever, she'd ever do anything to our daughter. But once that happened, I was like, all right, no, it's dead. So uh,
Was it so I'm gonna so through this process now she's gone, she's done.
she leaves and pretty
Like
much go into a
were you
depression, I guess
broken?
you could say.
Were you
It was.
broken
I
at the
wasn't
first?
sad. I felt relieved.
Okay, good.
mm.
Honestly, I felt really
Yeah.
relieved, and I wasn't sad at all. I mean, I still loved her. I still got love for her to this day.
So
But
you had
Mm,
relief though at the end of the day. You were relieved that was over.
it had been so long and such a long road, and every day was, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And when you living like that, it's a horrible way, and it bring me back to when I was in prison. When things got bad and you knew they was about to get bad, you went to sleep with your shoes on because you didn't know if you was going to get woke up somebody beating on you, and that's how I felt
mm,
living with her. I got to sleep with my shoes on every night because I never know. I'm just in the middle of the night get slapped in the face and accused of doing something I never did,
Yeah.
Mm.
So finally being released from that was the most relief I think I've ever felt in my life.
So did you feel alive? Did you feel like you have a reason now? Your daughter and you are having a life? Are you guys moving
I just
forward?
felt I felt immediately that I had to get things on track for us because
Good.
at this point we're so deep in debt and things had
I'm
been
sorry.
so bad and then got kicked out of every house we ever been in and didn't have a vehicle and it was
Well, how are you now? Are you how you doing now with all that?
still a struggle because when she stabbed me she severed some nerves which disabled me. So
Mm,
Oh,
I'm pending fighting for disability. It's been about 2 years, and now with the government shutdown, it's
I'm
still
sorry.
pending as well. But
oh,
everything happens for a reason. I always believe that, and
Well,
I
how
remain
are you?
positive.
Can I ask you this? How I don't mean to pry in. If I do, just let me know, John. That's
Oh, you
off
good?
boundaries.
um,
But
well,
how are you making income? Like, how are you doing this? How?
So
Because
it's
if someone else out there wants to help you, for example, in your situation,
it's been really rough
yeah,
going, but that's kind of what I started Substack for. You
okay,
know,
mm,
I didn't. It really started because I was online just looking for ways to make money online,
yeah,
and I just got the thing. I was like, hey, well, you can write for Substack. Well, I never wrote before, so I started thinking some of my stories and just writing them out as like I'm telling you here, and posting them really just to get it off my chest, not thinking anybody would ever read it. And
So
uh,
boy, was I
what was
wrong
your
about that
first?
one.
But what was your first example of when someone actually read your article and they commented? What was that feeling like?
That was probably the most amazing thing in the world, which is why I still do it today. So the first
Mm.
thing I posted was titled "I died 6 times, almost," which
Oh,
because I
jeez.
have.
What a title!
So I've flatlined 4 times, got hit by a freight train, and then stabbed. But the train and the stabbing, my heart didn't stop. But anyways, I posted that story, and it was the first one. Didn't have a single subscriber, and I cross posted it to my Facebook. And the
Good.
next morning,
uh,
I woke up and I had one comment and one view from my post on Facebook. And the
Okay.
comment was from a gentleman saying that he was ready to take his own life that night. He was scrolling for any reason not to. And
oh,
he had the letter wrote and enough pills to kill a blue whale, stop a blue whale's heart, is what he said. Until he
Mm,
found my story and said that it just lit something inside of him that made him decide to go another day and try one
awesome.
more day. So I don't know how
oh.
much more validation I could have asked for.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
still in, is he still in touch with you?
he didn't respond to my comment after that, unfortunately. But that was that was the first one, and I had another identical story that happened about a month ago. So since I started Substack, about 4 months in, 2 people have reached out that said that they were finished with life until they read my story.
You know, when I was writing stories, somebody came up to me and said to me, it's nice you're writing about other fluff stuff, right? But you need to be more authentic about your life. And what you
Mm,
just did was so that's why I write as well, is to hope give people a chance to see, hey, there's other people out there that are struggling and you're not alone. Like everybody carved a path one way or another that's very similar to yours. Um, don't 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 give up. There's a way to
Right.
get out of this. So that's
yeah.
awesome, Mark. I appreciate that. That's I mean that's
That's been my mantra my whole life, and that's what's really always gotten me through. Is
yeah.
that tomorrow will always come. The sun
Yeah.
will always rise. Wind will always blow.
Mark,
So why worry
I'm gonna
about the day?
yeah.
Yep.
So are you writing a book? Are you gonna be writing a book about this or
I
what?
wrote two actually. They're both
Okay.
for sale on my Substack homepage.
Okay.
So I have my memoir, and then I have another one that I called it's like field notes, like a field manual for life,
Yeah.
basically. Just little
So
This is a film.
things.
This is a
yeah.
film. I mean,
Yeah.
someone needs to write the screenplay from your memoir and
You're not the
turn
Yeah.
this
first one to
into a
tell me that one.
film. No,
So
no,
tell us about
I'm,
yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about the books. Like, what are the premise? Like, are they like self help, or are they
So
just basically?
my memoir is just everything that's ever happened. So I don't miss a detail, from all of my drug addictions to coming out of that, to bad relationships, to all of the times I overdosed and the stabbing, up literally until today when I started writing on Substack. So
Did you
the
ever
second
go
one, I
in?
don't want to
Oh,
call it the
sorry.
self help type of a story, but I guess it would be more in that genre. But it's told not from a perspective of, I've already done this and this is what I did, so I'm gonna recommend you do it, because I'm still fighting it every day too. So it's wrote from this is where I'm at now and what I'm trying to figure out, and this is the reason I keep going every day. But I got a lot of positive feedback on it for sure.
That's awesome.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is being a master meditation teacher and a healing arts teacher, I always want to ask people because there's no one that I know, not a soul who hasn't gone through not quite what you've gone through, but
But a bunch of
hasn't
stuff.
gone
Right?
through broken dark times, myself included, John included. And what did you reach out? You said you're Catholic. Did you reach out to your faith? You
So
said that you used the word mantra. Do you meditate? Do you walk in nature? What did you do to start lifting you up to help take care of your daughter and be the best for her?
I've, I guess, religious wise, it's always been kind of on the fence with a lot of things when it comes to basic, the organized religion. But being a Catholic, I was a ghost hunter for many, many years, and studied demonology and was a part of a couple exorcisms,
Interesting.
and it was something that was always really kind of near and dear to me. But in my older ages, and I kind of got into some basics of quantum physics, which that led into learning about
Yay.
energy and 0 point energy and things like that, and meditation and manifestation. So, and I've been testing this, and it works every single time. Yeah, our words are so powerful. What you say is what makes your life. So when I said
Yep.
I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna be a published author, I said it like it was already happened, and I signed my book deal about 2 weeks ago.
You
And
Oh
said a
my
book deal.
gosh.
I did.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
huge.
Wow.
Now, it was no money up front, but I didn't. I'm not having to pay to have it published. In other
Published.
words,
That's
So
great.
let's talk about that a little bit because KaZ and I do have books and we publish them and all that, and we kind
And
of
I
have.
have a publisher similar to yours,
Yeah.
but
So
he's
is yours now going to be the marketing part of it, or are you still involved in the marketing? What kind of
uh,
control do you have on it?
it's pretty much all of them. Uh,
Wow.
they're in the UK, so it's a London publishing house.
Okay.
So I'm still kind of figuring out exactly how. I know it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
There's something about every book that gets published. They send one copy to every university in
Yeah.
England or something. So that's kind of a mind trip for me to think
That's
my
huge.
my story is going to be in a college library somewhere
Awesome.
across the water. But um,
So did they reach out to you, or you reach out to them?
that one I reached out to them, so I submitted my manuscript to them.
Wow. Wow.
But I've
Congrats.
had quite a few that reached out, and I
You
did
had a few no's,
Indiegogo,
right?
and I did Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Kickstarter went pretty well, but I didn't hit the goal at the end. But uh, Publicizer, that was probably the best one. I think I had
Wow.
4 or 5 publishers reach out. But
So
I just,
what
I,
about your daughter now? How is she doing?
much better. Uh,
How
she
old is she now? If I
she
ask.
is 11.
Oh,
So
very
oh
cute.
wow.
it's been me and her entire life. So
Yeah,
mommy was always in a rough spot. So she went with me everywhere. And I had that car seat with me everywhere. She has never left my side. And I don't think
that's
she's
awesome.
spent a night without me. She wouldn't know what to do.
So 11
Oh,
years old, that's a really beautiful age, I have to say.
Yeah, that's
That,
interesting age.
that's a daddy.
She's about to
Daddy,
blossom.
daddy can never do anything wrong. Like it's all about daddy. It's all
that
about
is
it's all
that is
about you.
true. but now
Yeah.
it's, the puberty's coming out, and things that I can't
That's what
help
I
with.
was
You know what I
saying.
mean?
You need to write a book about that. After all you went through, you need to write a book,
Yeah,
being a father
being
and
a dad
single.
raising a
Yeah.
girl, it's
Yeah, that'd be a good book.
interesting.
Daddy girl.
Um,
Yeah. It's
so
fabulous. I mean, your life is just so
yeah.
it's
That's what I look
blowing my
for.
mind. So you having lived it, I mean, every day do you just let that go from the past? Well, obviously you haven't let it go because you've written it down because you want other people to read it, and other people have been given solace and the will to go on because of your story and the fact that you said, I'm not a writer and I just thought I'd get on Substack. And a lot of people listening are maybe aren't writing on Substack. They're just reading and following people on Substack, but in their heart of hearts, they really would love to write. I'm not a writer and blah, blah. You're
I think
living
people think
proof
about it
that,
a little too much. You just got to put it down and post it. Everybody's so worried
yeah,
about putting out this polished product and hovering over the post button. I don't care personally. I mean, I just write it like it happened, and I just put it out there. You're gonna judge me or think it's cool, and I guess most people think it's cool, and that's why I believe it works because I am
it's
authentic.
real. It's
It,
totally
it is
real.
real. It's
You're
dark.
totally
It's gritty.
raw. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
all of the above.
But the
See,
more
John,
I
being
know.
vulnerable, telling your story like me. When we talked about this, I said I don't call myself a victim, but I have experienced domestic violence and attempted sexual assault. He didn't get away with it. But you know, it's something I have never talked about. Only a few people knew about it, and like you holding on to your story, and it happened to me when I was in my mid to late 20s, you holding on to your story, especially now that so many people, male, female, any sexual orientation, are coming out, whether people believe them or not. I mean, why the heck would we come out with it?
Right.
But just to get publicity, just to get press, just to get our 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
None of us need it that
Yeah.
badly to make something up, but if we have one single chance to help somebody who's got a bottle of pills
Right.
not do it and live one more day and one more day and one more day, or somebody to put down that drink, or put down that drug, or say I was abused and domestically abused, and I'm going to tell my story.
Telling your story
People,
gives you some of the power back. When you get in, you relinquish some power to it.
you're right, it does give you some of your power back. That's right. Well, yeah, because abuse is all about power, and people who feel powerless, that's the way they get power. I was just reading before you came on that that's the statistic in domestic violence, is that it's again, I'll read it again, a pattern of behavior used by one partner to gain or maintain power and control over another. And typically the abuser does have some substance abuse or mental health issues in some way, shape, or form, or they were abused. A lot of people that I've talked to who became bullies aren't bullies anymore, became bullies because they were bullied in their home by a parent. So, or by someone in the family.
So I think we're gonna be running more technical issues here with Mark.
I'm
I hope.
hearing an echo.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if you're listening, Mark. Do you hear us still?
Yeah, it went kind of staticky and quiet again. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. I can
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah,
I can hear
yeah.
you low. I do have. I want to kind of make this about your. Well, there it goes again.
Maybe the universe, you know what because I'm very much into universal energy. You talked
I
about
lost it
energy.
completely. I'm sorry.
Well,
It's
that's
okay.
okay. Just hang on. if you can hear me, John, you know, I'm very much into universal energy. I'm very much into energy. I'm a Qigong 3rd level teacher, Reiki master, meditation master teacher. I'm getting ready. I'm studying
Oh,
to be
he left
able
us.
to
So
do hypno meditation. And I believe the universe is talking to us that we need to have Mark back. And we need to do this conversation without technical difficulties. Maybe we'll
yeah,
have to record it on Substack. And thanks to anyone out there who still is there and hanging in with us, because we've given a valiant effort to make this
yeah,
happen. And Mark has really, really hung in there. Can you hear us at all, Mark? Now, no, a little bit. But I
yeah.
was
He's
saying,
still
Mark,
tight.
I think the universe is telling us that we need to do this again with you. Would that
Yeah.
work for you? Would you do it?
And- But in the meantime, what I want everybody who's listening or who is about to listen to the show in the future, you know, one of the things you can help Mark out, especially in his situation, is to go on a Substack. Either, I don't know if he's got foundation or donations or anything like that. If you feel kind enough to do that
Subscription.
for him and just give him some donation or even buy his book, that's going to even help him as well. And
Yes.
even go on Amazon and do a review. You don't understand the power of doing a review on Amazon, because that will help elevate him. And and I don't know if Mark, I don't know if you've done any marketing stuff on there, but maybe I can help you with that, get you going a little
Yeah,
bit.
John's a whiz at that. We're
Um,
working together on that.
there's a couple other ways of doing this where it gets your books out there. But the thing I want people out there who's listening and feel compelled to do something, that's the 3 things you can do to help Mark out. And
And for all of us, we're all 3 of us are book writers. I've been writing professionally since I was 14. Reviews, if you buy a book, anybody's book, and you liked it or loved it, please give it a review, because that helps elevate all of us to be recommended and to be able to get our books out there. But I know you want to say one before we go, I have a couple of hotlines that I want to mention for people, but please continue, John,
just
and
give
then
me
I
one
want to
second.
mention those.
Then
Yep.
I want to just let me do my thing. So Mark,
Yeah.
I want to sign you off, because I know you're probably dealing with a lot of technical issues there, but we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna send your daughter The Quiet Miracle. Love you can see that. And so I'll
Yay.
send your daughter A Quiet Miracle. Just, it's a good Christmas story, and it's just from one brother to another. Okay, and then I'll definitely buy your books, and I'll definitely give you reviews.
Yeah, and
Okay.
get Mark's address, because I'll send you my brain hug meditation book that I had published. And you said you're into it. I would love to give it to you.
So anyways, Mark, you're very welcome. I hope we got to bring you back on, get a
Yep.
status update, see how things going, especially this whole deal with the publication. This is huge.
Yes, it is
Uh,
huge.
I'm very grateful for. I pray that everything goes the way it should, and the universe pays back for all the things that you went through in a positive way. So
And I believe in the law of radiation before the law of attraction. It's about first what we radiate and then what we attract. And you are radiating such kindness, such caring.
Positivity.
Um, So you just continue radiating your beautiful, beautiful self, and you will continue to attract the best for yourself and your daughter.
well, thank you, Mark. We appreciate you coming on. We'll get you back
Yep.
on. We'll fix up the technical stuff. All right,
100%.
buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Take
soon.
care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Be well. So yeah, I wanted to, before we wrapped up, I wanted to let everybody know. I mean, you can research this on Google yourself, but there's one thing I want to give you: the international hand gesture for when you're in trouble. And you could be talking to someone on video. Say we're on video, and I'm talking to John or somebody, and I'll say, "Yeah, I'll take that pineapple recipe from you. I'll take that pineapple recipe
That's,
from you.
don't
Yeah.
use me as a reference, okay? That's not.
Talking to one of my girlfriends or whatever, or talking to John, doing another production meeting. So, so,
Seriously?
no,
Okay, fair enough.
I love them, darling. But yes, this is the international gesture when you're in trouble. You could just be someone who is, you may have been grabbed, you may be being abused. You could see someone else, you could just smile and you do this. That's all you do. Palm, thumb over the palm, fingers over the palm. That's the international gesture that you are in trouble. Child kidnapping, abuse, intimate partner, please. And you just smile and you give this to someone else like it's not a big deal. Okay. It's not a big deal. But people out there, please spread that gesture. It's so easy. And if you are experiencing anything that we discuss, National Domestic Violence Hotline, look that up. National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, domesticshelters.org. My issue, I was able to get out really, really fast. It happened once, it never, ever happened again. Operation Safe Escape, yeah, National Directory of Shelters and Support Systems. And John, if we could, for the recording, maybe we can put that on in our description on our
Yeah.
Substack or wherever we distribute this, those 4 things. But please, if you're ever experiencing anything that has you in an unsafe situation, this is for you.
So, Mark just joined the chat. So, Mark, if you could put in your chat where people can get a hold of you, your Substack or anything like that, that'd be great. So people can dial in right away or tag you right away or go and subscribe, whatever.
Yep.
The other thing is, I want to touch point on where Mark was going a little bit, and I can't speak for Mark. I can speak from my experience only. Is that in the beginning, most guys, as I explained, goes through this little, I don't know, impression of stuff, and then in the mix of things, you're always trying to solve the problem. You're always trying to fix the problem. But the problem is not you being fixed. You're trying to fix that person, and so you made the relationship can be fixed, and you get a power struggle. It's always a power struggle in that marriage or in that relationship because you're going back and forth and you're trying to solve. Some of the things that most guys feel is that they have to be a fireman or a policeman or a police or an ambulance chaser or a doctor to fix people. One of the things that I had to learn myself was I'm not responsible for anybody. So one of the things that was one of the things, like, I can't fix KaZ. KaZ can only fix herself. I
Yep.
can only fix me. So whatever my circle is, that's where it is. But most men tend to do more of that. They tend to think that they can fix that person to make their relationship better, and that's not the answer. So when
Or
you
fix the person's problems,
right,
not just fix the person, their mental health or whatever, but whatever problems the person is
oh
having,
yeah,
you feel like you
fix
can
the
help
house,
them,
repair the
you can
car,
fix the
yeah,
problem or you can help them fix the problem. And
yeah.
you don't have to. You
And
do
then the
not
other
have to.
thing is when men get out of it, usually they're seeking peace. They just want peace,
Hmm.
and that peace becomes very precious in their lives, and so they'll just find a place. And sometimes that's why suicide is up, because they just want the peace. They
Yes.
want the noise. They want all that to go away. And if they don't feel peace, it's just because they feel shame. They feel they're not worthy. They're not living up to people. Now, sometimes some people might say, well, I don't want to disappoint people. So that's
Yeah.
why they don't do suicide. But some people, it's complete suicide because that's how much guilt and all that kind of stuff is happening. So we are, when I was looking for a partner, I had tremendous amount of boundaries, and all those boundaries were necessary to protect me. Nothing to do with that person. It was me. and I needed to kind of like feel things through and kind of like be cautious. Now, it's been hard because, or it was hard because I was the person that would always be a gentleman, buy everything and do all that kind of stuff. And I didn't. I've stopped extending myself because, when you go on a couple dates a month, that's a lot of money. And more importantly, you get to see how these, if you've gone through the work, is a different story. And my work was, I went through a psychologist who was a female. And my whole premise to her was, I want you to knock the thing out of me because I don't want to go back to where I was. I
Mm,
want to found my foundation. I need you to be hard on me and kind of convince me
wow.
not to do that. Now, that was because I knew, because growing up as a Gen X and being coached by people that are boomers and all the older generations, they didn't have any nice words to you if you screw up in hockey or baseball or whatever you played in. So I resonated to that a little bit. So that's why I asked her to do that, but to help me get through. So
Mm,
when men kind of get there, their life completely changes. It's not, it's almost as peace. And now, is there always problems in lives? Absolutely. Is there always going to be challenges? Absolutely. But those are the beautiful moments. As long as you don't extend yourself, as long as you're not, I've learned not, like, I know when to stop and when to pull back. So I think that's where I think a lot of men to, and I don't know if it's because they're raised that way. I mean, I was Catholic. I was kind of raised not to talk back at women, not to hit women, blah blah blah. And I kind of got myself in trouble because of that. I don't know if that was the cause, or I was just, wanted to feel validated and feel that's what I wanted. Um, but that's the whole. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's where I think we need to. That's where I think where men who are struggling today and seeing this, how you have to really evaluate, why are you in this situation? Once you start asking that question, then things will start unraveling and you start seeing the red flags. You start seeing the things that are happening. So that's basically what that's sort of what men go through in a very toxic relationship in so many words.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also you mentioned suicide is up for men. 988. If you ever, just like what Mark was saying, that, and I reiterated it about two people messaged him and said the article that he wrote prevented them that very day from committing suicide. If you or anyone you know or love is considering harming yourself, please call 988. 988. Okay. Because
And
we
I want
love
to get,
you. We want you to be around.
so I just want to get to our audience who are listening, and
Hello,
and
audience
I'm
who are
um,
listening.
really sorry for all the technical issues,
Oh,
and
stuff happens, right?
by the way, this is our new streaming that we're trying to work out, and it's been kind of like clunky.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially since we've had underlying music this entire episode. This whole,
I
it's
hope there
like we have,
wasn't.
yes, I'm listening to the soundtrack and under dong dong, dong
Really,
dong dong
I'm
dong
not
of the
listening.
whole. I hope you didn't hear it, but the whole, for me, the whole episode is this underlying, like, music theme
Really?
underneath. The
Oh
whole,
my
yeah,
gosh.
I don't know if anybody else hears it. I do, because we went
Oh,
from the countdown in the we went from the countdown in the green room with the music and the countdown numbers, and then yeah, this
hmm.
whole time I've had accompanying music this whole episode. Doom 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 doom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
We gotta fix
yes,
that.
yeah, we got to
Um,
fix that, or we're going back to Substack Live. So yeah, who's here today?
so we
Who's
have
here?
Deanna Ames. She says, "Thank you for protecting your daughter." That's Mark. What a good father
Right?
you are. We
Yeah.
have Ashley, Nicole, Juliana. She says, "Continue to
Juliana
write."
is so faithful. We
Yep.
thank you for coming again, Juliana.
Samantha Hall. Um,
Samantha,
yeah. Joanne Neal.
Joanne, yay.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't hear it, so I don't know where you're hearing it. I think
Yeah,
you're just.
I
I think you're just.
no.
Yeah. I
Ding, it's
think
that exact music that you played, and it's ding, dum, 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 dum,
I
dum,
think it's
dum,
in
dum.
your head, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
You
I'm
know
just
what? I am
kidding.
happy to have accompanying music in my head,
That's an
also
elevator
no,
music.
also known as an earworm. No, yeah. Do you ever have an earworm where you get a song stuck in your head and I'm lying down at night and some song from the freaking 80s will come on. I heard it 2 days ago and I love it. And then it keeps me up awake at night. Darn it.
Okay,
So
so
I have a question.
uh-oh.
I have a fun question.
Okay.
What's your favorite spoon?
My favorite.
I want to show you my favorite spoon. I love spoons because I'm in my kitchen now. This is like Kaz's, kitchen chat. But I have no, that's not the right spoon. Yeah, this is it. I like a teaspoon and not the kind of tea measuring spoon, for those big cups of tea.
Well, that's been
The
weathered.
glass. Yes, this was my great grandmother's.
Okay.
So
Wow.
for some reason, I'm enamored with these long handled teaspoons. I don't know why. And I was looking in, I don't know, was doing something, and you know me, I'm all full of crazy questions. And I opened up the silverware drawer and I'm like, wow, I like teaspoons. I'm going to ask that question. What's people's favorite spoon? So what I
I
would,
I don't have a favorite spoon. As long as one can actually feed me, that's all that matters.
so you don't use a soup spoon, like a bigger soup spoon for soup and then a smaller spoon. You just
Mm,
all the same spoon.
it's the mood. Like, so for example, if I get ice cream, I take the small spoon. If I'm really hungry, I'll take the big one. It all depends. Sometimes heavy
Yeah.
one. I don't know. It all depends.
Yeah. Let's see, I just dig in here. Just look
Jesus.
at the spoons. It's hilarious. Yeah, we got, oh, that's a fork. Spoons. No, I did not have too much caffeine. Um, just my brain. So tell me what your favorite spoon is if you have one, and
I don't
make
have
me
a
feel.
favorite spoon.
I'm asking our viewers.
Oh, okay.
And if you have one, if you don't, that's okay. You just say that's Kaz doing her thing. Yeah, this spoon is like all like it's octagonal practically. Anyway, yeah. Don't you love me? Aren't I fun? Got to keep it going. I mean, seriously, because this subject matter, Mark just kind of blew my mind completely, and he's not the first straight man that I've heard being abused in his domestic relationship, but to that extent.
Yeah, that's tough. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
crazy.
but you got to think about it though. Just from his life, like being a drug addiction, getting himself through it, and then all of a sudden
In
being
prison.
in prison, all that, like 20 plus years of his life was dealing with some type of violent situation or addiction or something like that. That's a lot
Yeah.
to carry. And
Hmm.
I commend them to be here. That's a huge, because some people would just give up. They would give up.
Or
And
they just won't share it.
yeah,
They kind of either bury it or they don't. I mean, if people don't want to talk public about it, that is their right, because some stuff is so deeply personal and is so deeply violent, um, and aggressive that to to be able to discuss it is not easy, or to bring, or not wanting anyone to know that this happened to you. And that's what's, for women forever.
right,
This abuse has been happening to women forever, and they weren't believed. They were told it was because they were rejected, all sorts of reasons. And
right.
finally, women are speaking up. And like I said, every sexual orientation, there is abuse, every single one, and that's so heartbreaking that this power struggle, because it's not about sex, it's not about sexuality, especially if you're sexually assaulted, it's about power.
Right.
So
It's
anyway,
it's win at all cost. That's how I look at it. It's win at all cost. No matter how you do it, it's just win at all cost. And yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, I'm gonna do it. Well, shall we we're going to reschedule Mark. So
yeah,
And we'll do that. I know
Next
you'll do
week,
that sooner than later. Yeah. Next
next
week. Yeah.
next week, I think. Hang on, I don't have my.
Wait, I do. Hold on. I got my calendar here. Hello. Where's my car? On the 27th, uh, Jennifer Haddock.
Yep, Jennifer. That's right.
And tell us about Jennifer.
Oh, gee.
Did I just put you on the spot?
Yeah, you put me on the spot. So
Uh,
Jennifer is someone that I came across. I think she was the one that created the poem, and it was about standing in front of the tree, and then I just kind of like she added on my poem or my story, and then I just kind of like took it, and then I wrote a story about her. She's actually pretty involved on Substack. Um, so, and I think she's a behavioralist.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm, yeah,
She
yeah.
can
So
teach me how to
Jennifer Haddock
behave.
is a PhD, explores life, love, spirituality, radical behavioralist lens, essays, poetry, fiction, full life examples, private events made. So she writes poems and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it would be kind of cool because it's mental health, obviously, and that's one of the things that we need to talk about because when she was like writing about in front of that tree, I I don't want to put things in her, but I thought it had to do something about suicide or not depression or something like that. So I thought it'd be good to bring her on to have that discussion about that tree and what that symbolized to her, and
Mm,
how did she overcome that? And that's really, and then obviously getting on Substack, and that's really where we want to go with it. So yeah.
yeah.
In the meantime,
Mental health is health. So
yeah,
many people I know in my mother's era, if you had mental health issues, you were just labeled crazy. And
yeah,
now we've come to understand that mental health is chemical and it's just important as our physical health, and it affects our physical health,
it
our
does.
mental health. So,
So, with that said, one of the things I really want to encourage everybody to make sure that one of the things that we're trying to work with is to encourage people to actually buy people's books off of Substack. If you love them, buy their, but also do a review, especially with Mark. That's a man who's trying really, really hard to make a difference, not for himself, but also his daughter, and leave a legacy behind, which is going to be a remarkable legacy. And I can see that being very promising for his child, and himself. So um, if you feel a little bit willing to give, that's part of this program, is trying to help others along the way. And that's one way we can help him. So either go buy his book, or subscribe, or give a donation to his Substack, whatever you want to do. But if you do buy a book, or you feel like just reviewing, just the sake of reviewing, please do. That's important. And on other notes about us, one of the things I got in the mail this week,
your new book?
the final edition,
Oh, or not
the
given. Yeah, yes,
edition.
it's your new book. I mean, you've got two books out. And I was going to say, books make great gifts. Substack membership makes a
Yes,
great gift. Books make a great gift. If you're into meditation, I've gotten such amazing reviews on my meditation book. John and his new Earned Not Given book, and his book, he does a new take on the Joseph and Mary and Jesus story in Bethlehem, PA. It's really, I find it quite genius to well, you're in PA, so
yeah.
and there's really a city called Bethlehem, so
And
that's
Nazareth,
amazing.
and New Jerusalem, and a Calavir, or
Oh,
Calavir. That's how I say that. That's where he
I
got.
don't know.
That's where Jesus got crucified. Um,
I'm Buddhist. I mean, I know
yeah,
about
yeah.
all
I'm
about it,
sorry.
but I mean, I
I
know all about Jesus and Muhammad and everybody. I just happen to be Buddhist, so I'm not really sure of the minute details.
But this week for me is I'm working. So I had 3 mentors that give me the forward. I plan on visiting them, signing the book, and handing to them. Also, all my paid subscribers will get a copy of the book for free. So I have to reach out and get their addresses and things like that. And that goes to the founding members. So if you're a founding member, you get a free book. It's just part of the things, and because you've followed me on Substack, that's what you get. Yeah, basically it. So that's what I'm going to be doing the next week or so. How about you? What's your
Yeah, I don't do the membership thing yet. I'm still new. I'm just hitting 4 months, so I'm trying to let people try me on for size. And please, I'm so grateful to all my subscribers, my followers. You mean so much to me. I've been writing for a really long time, but it took two people to convince me to come on to Substack, and it's definitely been such a good thing for me. I met John, and John wrote a beautiful article about me. He got me immediately after a few conversations, and my next book is I'm in talks to either with my publisher. We're kind of my
love-hate
publisher and I are
relationship?
well, it's not love hate. It's just what's going on, and can we fix this? But
Yeah.
you self-publish, and I don't think self-publish is a bad phrase anymore. I know I heard someone say that she self-published and she submitted her book to the New York Times, and they refused to review a self-published book. But there are a lot of writers of note who self-publish, and it's not just someone's. I mean, people's diaries and journals are fabulous, and I know they share. People who consider themselves just sharing their life through their diary or in their journal on Substack. But even as a professional writer, you can still self-publish and
Well,
still be
self-publishing
considered.
is not easy. Obviously, there is.
It's so hard.
So, but I've learned. I think we need. I think we need to do a show on this about publishing. I think that would help people, at least through my experience and maybe your experience and stuff like that.
Well, and I have someone who's a friend who I am involved with her goal setting and networking
Oh, okay.
organization, and we meet every month. That she is very knowledgeable in publishing, so I'm just waiting for her two thumbs up to be on the show.
Okay. Then we can do it
She can
then.
get that ball
Great.
rolling. Yep, 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 yep.
So you just got a little production talk.
Yeah, well,
You
John,
see, people, it wasn't that bad. Not the way
yeah,
she claims it. They weren't boring.
no, no. I mean, stuff happens,
Yeah, yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
you push through it, and it wasn't. You got to improvise. Life
yeah.
is improvisation. Life is go with the flow and bob and weave, and
Yes,
just move like the bamboo in the wind that bends but never breaks.
true.
And we bent, but we did not break.
So,
All right,
I think we should just wrap it up now, and
wrap it up.
kind of go. But we want to say thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of new bands are not going with the record companies. That's Gray. They're
Yes,
doing it.
that's exactly right, Gray.
Oh, then Jake said greetings. I'm sorry, we want to get there. I became a pay subscriber now. Do I get a book? Yes. Yes, you get a book.
Yeah, that's a good point, Gray. I also worked
Yeah.
in the recording industry as an artist, and yeah. So, well, look what happened to Prince. I mean, he felt he had no control over his catalog, so he changed his name to a symbol until he got all of his catalog back under his own auspices. I think something similar happened to Taylor Swift. A few people who are trying to buy back their catalogs from their record labels, because things are not happening with their music that they want to happen. So start your own label, start your own
Yeah.
publishing company. So that's what I'm doing.
That's what. Yeah. So I
Little,
kind of did.
little tidbit.
I did it under Rinaldo and Partners, and that was intentional because I thought that if other people want to join me and or want lessons or learning, I thought that might be a good way to help them out in that way.
You're a good mentor. You are a
Thank you.
research fiend. You research like crazy, so you are a good go-to person for questions. Now you're going to be flooded with questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I have to figure out I got to figure out how to do that without getting flooded. But I do try to help people as much as I can. So one of
Ditto.
the things I try to do is I restack and things. I'm trying to figure out how to do
Yes.
that with not to overwhelm myself. So that's, I'm going to be talking, I'll probably talk more about my strategy on Substack, and that's another conversation we can have. But as
Restacking if you feel strongly about
yeah,
something you've read.
yeah,
And I restack others too when I love what they've written
yeah.
and feel strongly about what they've written. It's a great way to help each other out. It really, really is.
And I could talk about how to grow on Substack and how you do it. I mean, I've grown really slow, and that was more intentional because I want to make
Mm.
sure my audience was there for me. In the stock market, basically, if you buy high, that's not a very good place to be because the foundation is not set. Most of the foundation is set like 5 points below or 5% below. So that's where the
Mhm.
bottom is.
Mhm.
So if you're growing way too fast in Substack, not saying you can't gain, it just means that you got a lot of people who are going to be churning. So I didn't want to
Yeah, is that
revolving
sustainable?
door. I wanted them to
Mhm.
be there and stay there and be a follower, a loyal follower, but I also wanted to be a follower of theirs and make sure that I was also part of their community. And then we try to grow together. That's one thing.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. And
one
we
of the
do the
things,
best we can, especially when people like you have got almost 800 subscribers. We read I mean, I'm only close to 200 and I read everything I possibly can. And I try not to be on Substack every day.
no,
Social media can make me a little wackadoodle. So, but trust me, I look at everything I possibly can and read everything I possibly can of the
I,
people who
I
are
think
are
I'm gonna say something here.
okay.
I am going to say
Oh,
something.
oh,
No,
don't
no,
get
I'm
us
not going to
into
say,
trouble.
no, no, no. I'm not saying that. No, no, no. I'm not going to go there. But
Oh yeah.
the first thing I want to just touch one thing. If you buy the founding member on my subscription to get a book, not the yearly subscription, the founding member, you will get a signed copy of Earned Not Given, and the other one will be The Quiet Miracle. So you get two books, both signed by me to you. Just that's the deal for that one.
Or to someone you want to, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that because people were commenting on it, I want to make sure they understood it.
Okay.
So, when you grow and you're kind of growing, I mean, it's hard to follow everybody. And one of the things I think our community is about is helping each other and elevating each other along the way. Are we going to be perfect at it? No, because we do have our own stuff, like our own Substack
And lives and
and lives.
work and
But
family and yeah.
But in Substack, what I try to do for me, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to put it out in 3 different media, 4 different types of sites to draw people back into Substack. So that's my foundation. So I'm working on other social medias, building those platforms up, trying to integrate or trying to move everybody into Substack. And if I don't, that's fine. But that's what I'm trying to do. So if a person who's doing that is obviously multitasking or they're multi-posting in different places or posting similar things in different places and doing that. If someone is on Substack and has this expectation that all their followers are need to comment on everything that they post on their Substack, that's not physically, and that is not a great expectation because you're going to fall short all the time. What I mean,
Everybody does what they can. They really do.
yeah,
And it's
and
appreciated so much.
yeah, and so when you're following somebody, it's not obligated to keep posting and commenting. Is it nice? Is it help? Yes, it'll elevate them. The return needs to come back too. You try, but not sometimes you can't catch it. Now I do. I shouldn't say this. I'm not going to say it because then I'll get in trouble. I'll get people
Even
messaging
you
me.
as my partner, I mean, you're my business partner and you're my friend, and I
Yeah,
miss things that you post. I'm not as prolific a poster as you because I do my little 1 to 2 minute kind of healing arts moments, my little chats with people. That's really what I'm into. And I also write articles and then this and then
that's a
go and
lot. I mean, that's a
I
lot for
go
one
and live
person.
my life.
Yeah,
And I'm actually taking classes. I teach outside of Substack and any social media, and yeah, I go to Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights and pick up my heels and get the crap scared out of me, and that's a
Yeah.
fun time for me.
No, and that's, I mean, when you're, I mean, there is a couple people out there that just expects all their followers follow them and subscribe and pay, and they expect nothing but loyalty to them and no one else. And so that's not what Substack is about.
And you're not
Substack
going to grow. Yeah.
Substack is about, it is about growth. It's about community. It's about working together, helping each other. We're all
Collaboration.
trying to, we're all trying to collect some type of financial reward out of this. I'm not going to say that's not happening. We all have it all set up one way or another, but most of us have a free subscription, and that's fine too. And a lot of us have a closed subscription, and that's fine too. But the thing is that just because you expect somebody to do something, it doesn't mean that they're going to expect, they're not going to do it, because your expectations up here, their expectations down here, and you're not aligned with each other. And that's when people get a little bit an ego, or they get a little bruised, or whatever the case may be. And there are some Substackers out there who are blocking people because they're not loyal to them. And that to me is not okay. And to me, that tells me you're not in it for the community. You're in it for yourself. Because in this community in Substack, you can go on any other social media you want. This community is completely different from any other community you're involved in. It's not about spamming. It's not about trying to be a bully or trash talking. It's not. It's about lifting, and it's about positivity. It's about growth. It's about being inspired. You want to go on Substack to feel, oh my God, I feel welcomed. I feel loved. I feel
Supported.
supported. And more importantly, the message on here is so positive. It's not negative. And that's where I think a few people are not in line, and where I think they're missing a big portion of what this Substack is about, this community. And we just, sometimes those type of people just got to wish them well, hope the best, and let them go. So if you're in that situation where someone who's, asking more than you can deliver, or doing things are kind of the way that is negative, that's, you got to make a decision. And, is that someone you want to support? And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Everybody's allowed to live the exact life they want to live and participate exactly the way they want here. And I love it. I'm having a BLAST. And yeah, well, I guess that's it, John. We'll see you next week with everybody next week with Jennifer.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We are, like I said, we're working on this new stream. Hopefully get through this a little bit more. In the meantime, thank you. Have a wonderful week. We appreciate your being here, and bye, KaZ.
Tell your friends, tell family, tell colleagues, tell
KaZ,
strangers.
go enjoy your spoon.
The more the merrier. Oh, I put it away. All right. Mwah. Take care,
Bye.
everybody. See ya.
Thanks for listening to Stories, Soulwork, and Substack. We're so glad you're here. If today's story made you think, smile, or feel something, share it with someone who needs a little light. You can find us anywhere you love to listen, on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other streaming platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to KaZ and John Substack for updates, behind-the-scene notes, and upcoming guests. Keep writing your truth, keep doing your soul work, and remember, your story matters.